So at 16, 17, 18, you make the transition to pick up MMA. If that wasn't, what you were doing it for, what was the ultimate goal? What would you have called a success back then? Like, what would you have said, this is what I'm fighting for. This is what I get up every day and I give every fiber of my being for. What was the goal? What were you trying? If it wasn't money and it wasn't access, what was it?
Like I said, I want to have a family. I say I'm going to have a wife. I'm going to create a family. I'm going to have a beautiful, I know what I want, but when I start going on the way, I lost tracks. Like I said, you lost track very much, That's why Ozempic is selling a lot. Why? Because you don't need to lose track. You just keep shooting that thing in your belly, you're going to get skinny, I don't like that kind of life. I don't like shortcuts. I can use it, but I can use it in changing my habits. So what I'm saying is like, do it using Ozempic, but change your habits. Make sure your habits, use it as a friend, use it as a help. Like I do hormone therapy, but I use it as a help. I don't use it as my goal. Like,
right.
I take supplements to help me, but it's not my lifestyle gotta change. If I want results, everything's gotta change. Like I said, go back to doing little a lot, not a lot little. So, in changing habits can be very hard. But imagine when I'm young, I knew what I want, but I lost tracks. I went to the wrong places. Oh my God, I have stories that can never end. But I made it. I'm so glad that I made it. I have only one wife, 3 kids with only one wife, and I love her. I don't have eyes to other woman, and I enjoy my family. And I mean, I think now I'm ready to my next step. I'm gonna be 50 next year, so I'm ready to live my chapter for my next 40 years. So I have written down what I want to do the next 40 years of my life, what the type of deals I'm gonna say yes, what type of deals I'm gonna say no, and I'm going to that direction. And nothing gonna get between because I'm having written down. So when you write a letter for your death and you start from there, like what you want when you die, and you start from there. So I always started I heard story of Apple, I like it. They start from the end and then they go back to the beginning. And I think everybody, every company, everyone should start from the end and then reverse and start. What are the things you want to accomplish?
So you look to utilize sport as a conduit to that bigger picture and what you wanted to do in your life. And I think as an athlete, what we talk about a lot at VT Sports is that, right? We try to provide value, and that's what we say. I think sport made me the man I am today. And I think people who aren't quite athletes don't understand that. Like my ability to kind of show up every day, to overcome adversity, to push hard for a common goal, to sort of pivot when things go bad. Do you feel like a lot of that came from sport, or you sort of had that sort of ingrained in you before you started sport?
I think sport helps me a lot, but I think whatever helped me the most was when I understand what the book says. So the playbook, football, you have the playbook.
Right.
When you understand the playbook, you have the chance to win, no?
Of course.
But if you don't know the playbook,
just out there running around like a wild man,
you're gonna get blown out.
Sure.
Life has a playbook. You gotta know the playbook of life.
Mm-hmm.
So life, we have the beginning of life, and then you live a whole, teenager didn't exist until I think 1950 or 40 or something like that. Teenagers, they didn't understand. So people, I think they took their shirt in America, in 1960s and Mary Morrow, like when they start. So all the sensual, now everything is sensual. Everything is sensual. So everything changed. And now is normal. Like you go to Rio de Janeiro, look like everybody's naked on the beach, And they're always nice. No, it's not nice, So you don't want your daughter to be that way. So for me, it's the process of understanding that, you got to have a playbook, and you got to decide where your life is going to be. So when I understand the playbook, and my playbook is the Bible, when I start understanding what is a man's role, who creates sex, so understanding the whole thing. So everything that's the world is telling us to do it. It's so sport. It's everything essential in sport. So you have the ring girl and you have the cheerleaders. You know and I'm not saying it's wrong, but what I'm saying is like you always be entertaining to be entertained. So in sport, if you don't focus, if you don't understand, teaches a lot, but also teach you a lot of things to do it that is not right. So you gotta know what you're doing. Your identity cannot be a sport. So example, let's say we have a lot of successful businessmen right here. Let's say right now you're becoming zero, like your CEO agenda, get out. Who are you? Can you look in the mirror and say, who am I? Like, and how I like to think that way. If you die today, where are you going? So questions that make you think of life, of every attitude. I tell my kids, you lie, don't lie. Why you don't lie? Why you don't steal? It's a moral thing. No one steals, but why are you not stealing? Oh, because it's a moral thing. But who told you moral thing is not right? In California, you can steal up to $1,000. That's what. That's okay. No, it's not okay. You know. But why when they put that cap? Oh, well, let's go. So I always like to bring people to that thing. Why you moral? Why you have moral? Who create morality? So I don't want to just be a morality guy. I want to be a guy who can die for the things that I believe. Right. And I feel a lot of people die for morality, but morality is not going to save you. And so my playbook is the Bible. I don't treat my Bible for nothing. My Bible is a weapon, you know, helping my marriage, helping growing my children. Teach me about sex, money, everything. So I'm learning this playbook, so help me a lot. But the playbook of sports feeds your ego. And you got to know that. And when your ego is spiked to the roof, it's crazy. Do you see how even I'm going to make, it's going to be funny, but do you know when someone scored a touchdown or getting a pick, they put the chain, every camera goes on the guy. It's all to feed the ego. So that guy lived there, and sometimes they don't want to give you an autograph. They deny autograph. No, I'm how you deny an autograph? You it's your job. Right. Do an autograph. So a lot of guys you meet, I wish I never met this guy. You know when you meet someone and say, I wish I never met him? It's like meeting a pastor that you like, and then you know the pastor steal, cheat. Oh my God, it's just ruining my life. So sometimes I like to see dead people, because dead people, they cannot go back and do something wrong. So and what I'm saying is like, that's why my thing, I want to live like I'm dying tomorrow. So sports teach me a lot, but also teach me to stay alert, because feeds your ego of what you got to be careful, because if you don't know what are you doing, why are you doing, that can lead you to a lot of things that we're not proud about.